While I am a certified leader who coaches with extensive studies in psychology topics, I am not a licensed therapist or psychologist. My videos are designed to provide leadership insights and are not a substitute for professional therapy. If you are in need of psychological support, please contact a qualified healthcare practitioner in your area. Remember, taking care of your mental health is important, and professional guidance is key in addressing therapeutic needs. My daughter, Sophie, asked me to make this animation for her to highlight the importance of empathy toward asylum seekers. I love you so much, my loving daughter. Imagine a morning wrapped in sunlight and laughter, where stories are passed around with the morning bread. This is Aya's world, vibrant, filled with the colors of joy and simplicity. But what happens when these colors start to fade under the shadows of impending conflict?
Baba, tell me again about the time you found the lost kitten in the market.
Oh, that little mischief maker. Just like you. Always exploring.
In her classroom, Aya's imagination soars like a kite on a breezy day. Dreams are nurtured, discussed, and cherished here. But the winds are changing. Can you feel them?
Class, today we'll learn about our country's history. Let's treasure our heritage, as it teaches us resilience in times of change.
Notice the subtle shift, the quiet before the storm. How does a child perceive the whispered worries of adults? How does it reshape the landscape of her childhood playgrounds?
Why are all the grown-ups so serious lately?
My brother says there's trouble coming. But don't worry, we have our secret fort to hide in.
Look at the family dinner, once a riot of stories, now a silent gathering. How do we explain to our children the things we barely grasp ourselves?
Mama, why is everyone so quiet?
Just tired, my love. Eat, you need your strength.
In her hands, a stuffed dragon, her silent guardian against the beyond usual darkness. In stories, dragons protect their realms. Can Aya's dragon keep the darkness away? Shift your focus to Sophie in a peaceful classroom, worlds away from daily life in a war-torn region. How can we bridge these experiences to promote deeper understanding?
This news might be hard to understand, but it's the reality for many children around the world. Think about what peace means to you.
Sophie traces borders on a map, borders that to some mean little and to others, everything. Does mapping out a conflict zone bring us any closer to understanding the lives that unfold there?
Do kids there know it's dangerous? Would they still play outside?
The conversation turns to global issues. Words like refugee and asylum float across the classroom. How do these words land in the hearts of those who hear them only in abstract terms?
Many children are losing their homes, their schools, and sometimes their families. It's a lot to think about, isn't it?
As night falls, Sophie contemplates her own safety, her own untroubled sleep. How can she, from her quiet room, grasp the enormity of an asylum seeker's changing world?
What would I do if it were me? Could I be as brave as those kids?
Imagine the heartache of packing a life into a single bag. Aya's little hands clutch not toys but necessities, water, food, and a few precious photos. Her dragon Stuffy, her charm against the darkness, is tucked safely in her bag. Can you feel the weight of each choice, the sting of each goodbye?
Mama, do we have to leave everything behind?
We need to carry only what's most important. We have each other, and that's enough.
Each step away from home is a step into the unknown. Aya feels the ground shift under her feet, her world turned upside down. How does a child navigate the rugged terrain of loss and uncertainty?
Every night, I hold my dragon close, imagining it breathing fire to protect us from the cold and fear while my dragon's wings shield us from the dark.
In a heart-stopping moment, the currents of fleeing people pull Aya away from her parents. Alone, surrounded by strangers, how does a child find her way back to safety? How does she hold on to hope?
Baba. Mama.
Stay with me, child. We'll find them ahead.
As Sophie watches the waves of humanity fleeing disaster, her heart tightens. The images flicker with despair and determination. What thoughts cross her mind as she sees children no older than herself facing such danger?
It's so sad. Can you imagine having to leave everything behind and not even knowing where you're going?
The teacher paints a picture of the refugee experience: long journeys, perilous routes, and the quest for asylum. How does Sophie reconcile these stories with her own secure world?
These families are just like yours and mine, except they've been forced to flee their homes. Imagine the strength it takes to start over.
How do they keep going when everything seems so against them?
Sophie gathers clothes and toys to send to refugee centers. Each item is a message of hope, a signal that someone, somewhere, cares. How do small acts of kindness bridge the vast distances between us?
I hope this helps someone feel a little happier, even if just for a moment.
As Aya walks into her new classroom, the weight of her past and the strangeness of her present mingle into a silent storm. Her reactions, sometimes sharp, sometimes distant, are misread by her peers. How does a child explain scars that lie beneath the surface?
Don't do that.
Hey, it was just a joke. Why do you have to be so weird about it?
Look at Aya. Once a vibrant participant in the dance of friendship, she is now a quiet shadow on the sidelines. Each failed attempt to connect adds another layer to her shield, another reason to retreat. How do we reach out to someone who has learned to expect rejection?
Can I play too?
Maybe you should just watch. We've got enough players.
Sophie, witnessing the gap of misunderstanding widening around Aya, sees a spark of possibility in the ashes of disconnect. What can be done to illuminate the common threads that bind us, even in our vast diversity?
I've been thinking, maybe we could have a day where everyone shares something from their own culture. It could help us understand Aya better and bring us all closer.
As the cafeteria transforms into a mosaic of world cultures, each story shared is a bridge, and each dish is a pathway to empathy. How does a simple act of sharing change the air we breathe together?
Aya has something amazing to share about her culture today. Let's give her our attention and show her how excited we are to learn from her.
With each word Aya speaks, the walls around her crumble a bit more. Her classmates, once distant, now lean in closer, their eyes wide with the wonder of discovery. How powerful is our curiosity, our capacity to learn from each other?
That food was really good, Aya. Could you teach me how to make it? Maybe we could do it together sometime.
Just as spring renews the weary winter landscape, a long-awaited joy blooms for Aya. In the midst of a mundane school day, a call comes: her family, once torn apart by the tides of fate, will soon be together again. How do we measure the relief that floods a heart long acquainted with loss?